Hello traders out there in Traderland, D7 here with Grok Trade here in Tampa, Florida, and the markets keep rising higher. And if you noticed, the markets just will not drop. They just keep going higher. Now, they'll go higher until they drop, and we need to be paying special attention to a few things. Let's take a look. I'm looking at the Spiders S&P 500 ETF. The thing that was shocking, that was so surprising to see, and it had to do with the CPI report. So inflation is getting under control. I want you guys to look at this trend line that I have drawn. If I go to a line chart, I want you to see this. So I clipped it here, and then the node is here. See that? Bam. We come across. Now, if I go back to candlesticks, we get near that trend line and we drop. Over here, we touched the trend line, okay? Here we touched it here and here, okay? If I take it to a line chart, I want you guys to see this. We do not touch it there. We do not touch it here. Go to a candlestick chart. The market makers opened it there and it dropped. The markets brought it up there and then it dropped, okay? Here, we did hit it perfectly and then we dropped. And if we go forward here, okay? And let's blow this up so you can see it. Let's blow this up so we can see it. This happens. That's Wednesday. Thursday, we break over the top. Now, Wednesday, we had a nice gap up, passing this former resistance here in the markets. Again, the S&P 500. This is the 500 bluest chip companies that are out there. The S&P 500. It's a major one. We don't look at the Dow as much. And not even the Russell's 2000, even there's 2000, it's smaller cap. The S&P 500, the biggest companies, that's what's important to us. So whatever the big boys are doing is what the market is doing, okay? That's the idea. We get a big gap up on Friday. We doji out on Wednesday. We doji out last week right at a resistance line. What should happen? We have a gap. We doji after a run up and we're at resistance. It should more than likely drop. No, pop. It went higher. This is great news. Why is this great news? I need everybody to understand this. We have a lot of price action. This price action goes into the end of 2022, going into all of 2023. It has been a choppy, wild mess. But we've been grinding upwards, right? We're just grinding higher and higher and higher. But anytime you touch once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, and then we go above it, that is good news. Now, there's something called a jab. And if this jab happens, this will be problematic. Be watching this. I'm giving you 3 minutes into the video here, going into 4. I'm giving you what we're looking for. If this daily chart on the S&P 500 or the Spider closes back down below this trend line relatively soon, Monday, Tuesday. If that happens, this could be a jab and this could get gnarly and a big sell-off, okay? That could happen. Now, listen, earnings season is just kicking off. If these earnings come out good, the markets will still rise higher. If these earnings come in substandard, if they're not going to impress the markets are going to suffer from this, okay? And we're going to get a drawdown. So this is what we're looking at. As long as we stay above this trend line, all is well here. And it can stay above it because it has broken that resistance. It took a stutter step breather on Friday. The question is, will it stay up here and then rally higher? What I like to look at is what's happening with the NASDAQ on this daily chart. We had this nice run up, and sure enough, we touched the trend line and we come back down. We have a shooting star reversal pattern. That's what this is, shooting star reversal pattern. Let's take a look at where we're at. So we drew the trend line from this swing to this swing, okay? And this is where we're at right here. That's where we're at. This is called a rising wedge, which is more bearish than is bullish. I'm going to add a couple indicators, oscillators here. And we're starting to get kind of a bit bearish divergency, and relative strength is pretty high right now, okay? So we're looking at some things that seems, it doesn't surprise me that sellers came in at this point, that we go up, 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 we touch it, and we come back down. The question now is, this is the big question on the NASDAQ, because of the strength that we're seeing in artificial intelligence and semiconductors needed for artificial intelligence, will that keep the market higher? A lot of tech stocks, 65% of the NASDAQ or the Qs here, made up of technical type companies, tech heavy. The question is, will this draw back down? It can. If it draws back down and it breaks these trend lines and that line coming across, I mean, that would not be good if the Qs got down below 370 area. We get down below 370. 370 should be a major area of support. But if it gets down 368, that's just no bueno, no good. We're not happy with that. So sometimes I look at the small caps, Russell's 2000, and the financials to say, what are they doing and what should I be looking at? So what I'm seeing on the Russell's 2000 is we had a sizable drop, but we dropped below this trend line and it rallied back up. Do you see how we went below this trend line and it rallied back up? The question is, it's honoring this trend line, and the trend line is now acting as support. Will that mean the rest of the market will stay above these trend lines and act as support? We'll build a high base or a pennant or something here. Maybe. Do you see this red line I have drawn here? It's not connecting to really anything. If I do this, you'll see that we have a bearish divergence. See how this line's going down on the MACD? That line's going up. That usually bodes not well for the price action, which is what we're looking at up here at the top. So in other words, there's a lot going against the markets to come back down. But what has my attention now is we had the chance to break down and break that trend line, and the markets closed it back above that. So now what I care about is how valid is this trend line? So I want to go back and really take a look at this trend line, okay? So I'm looking at this trend line here. You can see that it's on this dot, and I need to make sure I have the right line coming up. So it's this line right there. So this line goes to that peak. So in other words, we're at that peak. This line comes down, down, down to this peak, okay? And that is what the line is honoring, the price is honoring right there. It got above it and boom, it's now landed on that support line. The question is, will it stay above it? That's important. We're above all these moving averages. That's all great. So what are financials doing? Let's take a quick look at financials and we'll wrap up with this. If you go to the financials, as the markets only do what the financials do, right? Markets are only as strong as the financials. Got a lot of trend lines here. What I like to do is encapsulate the price action. If I go to a line chart, you'll kind of see it. We hit the ceiling here a couple times. We come down, floor, 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 and we come up and we're inside all these moving averages, so things get crazy, crazy, crazy. But do you see how we're climbing right there? If we're climbing there and we stay above this trend line and this one coming across, that will be great for the markets, okay? If we can stay above this trend line, and definitely this one. I mean, or definitely need to stay above this one, but this one may or may not be honored. But if I go here and say, this is really interesting, can we stay at this trajectory? That trajectory is almost so steep that it can't stay that steep for too long. All right. So financials on Friday gave us had a huge gap up, but a sell off, but we stopped at the trend line again. So everything is sitting at these trend lines. Now, the reason I share all this with you, okay? Quick look at the US dollar. If you notice the US dollar, it came up above this symmetrical triangle. It comes up like this, we down and up and drop. Okay, now I'm going to teach everybody. Give me a thumbs up. It doesn't cost you anything, guys, just to give me a thumbs up. I'm going to teach you something. Give me a thumbs up have you guys heard me talk about a death hook? I'm going to show you what a death hook is. A death hook is a symmetrical triangle. A death hook is when you come into an apex like we are here. Death hook is when you have a breakout or a breakdown. In this case, it was a breakout, and it's a failed breakout. It goes up, it stays up, it promises the world, it promises great riches, and it breaks your heart. This is what a death hook is. Symmetrical triangle, breakout, it comes back down inside that trend line, and then it breaks these and it becomes a colossal drop to the downside. This is what a death hook is. You won't find death hook anywhere else on the interweb. I promise you that. This is something that you will not learn anywhere else. We have been teaching in the live markets nearly 20 years, other traders, okay? I've been trading almost 30 years in the live markets using technical analysis. Now get this. Death hook is something that I came up with. Death hook up comes crashing back down. So this is a bearish death hook. You got a bullish death hook where it comes down, crashes back up, and then it gives you great riches to the upside. This is US dollar death hooked, and we are looking for retracement. Look for 50% retracement or retracement to these resistance areas and a drop again. US dollar is getting pounded. That's what it's helping gold, silver. It's helping everybody. Okay. Quick look at gold and silver, and I'm going to show you the weekly chart. Gold and silver, bam, boom, to the upside, falling wedge breakout, symmetrical triangle breakout. This is symmetrical triangle. It broke out and stayed. I mean, last week for gold and silver was just on fire, guys. So very good. All right, now look, I'll end with this, and the video's over, but give me a like if you liked what I shared with you. But if I go to the spider, take a look at the chart, the weekly chart on the spider has just been on fire, straight up. It broke the symmetrical triangle. It went up, no death hook. It did not come back down. It just took straight off. That's what we look for. Symmetrical triangle breakouts, boom, there we have it. Weekly chart on the spider. If you go here to the diamonds, you look at this symmetrical triangle breakout, and it's just stutter stepping. It's building a high base. This thing could still rally. NASDAQ is this where it was just up, 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 up. It just has been on fire. Why? Artificial intelligence, my friend. Artificial intelligence is what's doing that. Russell's 2000 stopped at a major area of resistance. We have a big symmetrical triangle. It rallied up, 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 right to resistance, and we tried to break over it, and we came back down. Tried to go over it, came right back down. That's where we did. And if you go to a line chart, you'll look at this: resistance, resistance, resistance. And if I go back to the candlestick chart, you can see even this one, which we weren't touching, went up, got near it, come back down. This is a big time line. If we break this line, look for more upside opportunity in the markets. We have a lot of steam, a lot of optimism out there at this moment. And how do I know that? Quick look here at the VIX. The VIX is down, down, down. There is no fear out there in the markets at this time because there's no fear and the markets are going up. And I think that we have a really good chance of breaking those resistance levels. Give me a thumbs up. It doesn't cost you a thing to do that. Leave me a comment if you're interested in doing so. I love the comments. That's my chance to be able to hear things from you guys. It'd be interesting. Let me ask you a couple poignant questions. Do you think inflation is going to go higher? Or do you think inflation is going to remain lower? And I need you guys to know this. I need to probably do another video on this. If you don't know about the inverted bond yield issue that we have between the 10-year and the 2-year, it's a very real thing, and you need to know about that. I'm going to probably do another video this week on this. Thanks for not, making my life difficult learning about, because I didn't do a video last week or 2 weeks or whatever it was. Sorry. So I'm back. So all is well. Hope you guys are well. Take care. We'll see you guys. Bye. Why are you still here? You're supposed to be gone while I still have you. If you haven't joined the 301 mentorship yet, seriously give that some serious thought. Mark the Meerkat's been trading a long time in the markets. As you know, I have too. We take people under our wing and we teach you what we do to trade in the live markets. We trade a significant amount of money on a day-to-day basis in the live markets ourselves. If you're going to learn from anybody, learn from us. It's the 301 mentorship program. We've been doing this a long time, and we're happy to help you. There you have it. Now, get out of here.